Ravens fan, news about Mark Andrews are causing a lot of concern, and you won't want to miss the details of this story. What's going on with one of the franchise's biggest names? Is his future in Baltimore at risk? Stay tuned, because there's a lot happening behind the scenes that could change everything, and you need to understand how this could impact the team in the coming months. Get ready, because what you're about to hear could be decisive for Andrews and the Ravens' future. Don't go anywhere. Go Raven. The salary cap is always a concern for NFL teams, and the Ravens are no different. Mark Andrews, one of the best tight ends in the league, has a contract that weighs heavily on the team's budget. With a cap hit of $16.9 million, he's the fourth highest paid player on the team. This creates a challenge for the Ravens, who need to free up cap space to strengthen the team and adjust the roster according to the needs for the upcoming season. The issue is that for the Ravens to improve, they'll have to make tough decisions, like possibly trading or even cutting key players. The big question is whether it's worth simply releasing Andrews and getting nothing in return. With all his talent and franchise icon status, Mark has a lot of value in the market. Letting him go without capitalizing on this opportunity might be a waste. A trade seems like a more sensible option, as it could not only alleviate the salary cap, but also provide draft picks and allow the team to reinforce other positions. However, even though the Ravens could save a significant amount with a trade, the emotional and sporting impact of this decision would be enormous. When considering a trade, the Ravens would need to assess whether another team's offer compensates for losing such a talented player. If a team is willing to offer a second-round pick in the draft, for instance, the Ravens could get good compensation to rebuild and reinforce their roster. This might seem risky, but in a scenario where the team is seeking more flexibility and new talent, a trade could be the key to giving the team a fresh new look. Andrews is a great player, but his high cost might be an obstacle to the team's growth. Of course, trading Andrews isn't an easy decision, and the team knows that. He's still one of the best tight ends in the league, and one of the greatest names in Ravens history. The idea of trading such an icon might be unsettling for many, but at the end of the day, the Ravens will need to decide if he's still worth a hefty price, or financial flexibility, combined with a chance to improve the roster with new pieces, will be more important for the team's future. This brings us to another question. Who could take Andrews' place in the offense, and how would this affect the team's performance? Isaiah likely has been a pleasant surprise for the Ravens. In his rookie season, he showed a lot of potential and promising receiving skills with 42 receptions for 177 yards and 6 touchdowns. These numbers are impressive for a rookie tight end, and he's already being compared to Mark Andrews. Not only that, but the way he likely has fit into the Ravens' offensive system means he has everything it takes to grow and become a major threat in the future. What's even more interesting is that he's 25 years old, while Andrews is already 29, which gives likely an advantage in terms of longevity and potential for development within the team. In addition to his age, Isaiah Likely's contract is much cheaper than Mark Andrews, which makes him an attractive option for the Ravens, especially if they need to free up salary cap space. While Andrews costs nearly $17 million, Likely is in a much more affordable salary range, allowing the Ravens to leverage their finances and pursue other reinforcements of the team. Even with less experience, Likely's promise is high, and he's shown he's ready for more involvement in the game, having already earned Lamar Jackson's trust. With Likely standing out each game and gaining more space in the offense, the inevitable question arises, could he be the future of the tight end position in Baltimore? He's already proven to be a viable option in the passing game, especially considering he surpassed 40 receptions in his rookie season. If he continues to develop, Likely has the potential to take on a leadership role, which could make Andrews dispensable. While Andrews' experience is hard to replace, the young tight end has shown that he could be a valid alternative, especially with the evolving offensive dynamic. This situation raises a crucial point for the Ravens. Is it more advantageous to invest in a younger, cheaper tight end with huge growth potential, or to stick with a veteran who can still be a game changer but comes with a high cost? This analysis will directly connect the question of Andrews' performance in his recent season, where inconsistencies and injuries began to appear. Mark Andrews didn't start the 2023 season on the best foot. In November, he suffered an ankle injury that affected his performance on the field. For a player of his importance, this was a significant challenge. Despite this setback, Andrews fought to get back to form and eventually recovered enough to be one of Lamar Jackson's main targets. However, what we saw was an Andrews who was somewhat below his usual level, raising doubts about his long-term consistency. For a team with high aspiration, relying on a player who might constantly be in recovery could be risky. Andrews' performance, which ended with solid numbers like 11 touchdowns and 673 yards, shouldn't be ignored. However, the truth is he didn't have a flawless season. In the playoff, the crucial fumble and drop pass on the two-point conversion against the Bills were mistakes that weighed heavily and gave the impression impression that maybe his confidence and physical form weren't at the same level as in other career moments. These mistakes raised even more uncertainty about his ability to be the Ravens' top offensive piece, especially in crucial moments. The inconsistencies in Andrews' performance are not new, but with age catching up and injuries piling up, the question arises, can he still be the dominant force in the Ravens' offense? His ankle injury and slow recovery throughout the season raised concerns about his longevity and impact in the upcoming season. For a team that's looking for more consistency and health across the roster, this might be a red flag, especially when considering younger, cheaper alternatives like Isaiah Likely. Andrews' inconsistency, combined with his injury, makes the Ravens question whether it's worth keeping a player who's still talented but might be declining in form. The answer to this question could be crucial in deciding whether to keep him or consider a trade, which brings us to think about Andrews' market value and possible offers that could be made. Well, we're past the halfway point in our video, but I notice you haven't liked the video yet. This is really important for YouTube to continue recommending my content to you, so I can keep bringing you more updates. It's free, so go ahead and drop that like. Thanks. Now let's continue. With Mark Andrews being one of the most recognized tight ends in the league, his trade could bring significant returns for the Ravens, both financially and in terms of assets for the future. The good news for Baltimore is that Andrews still holds considerable value in the market. Even though his performance has had some ups and downs, his ability to score touchdowns and be a reliable target is still top tier. Therefore, if the Ravens decide to trade him, it's highly likely they will find interested teams willing to pay for his services. What makes this trade even more appealing is the possibility of acquiring a second or even third-round draft pick, which could bring new talent to the team. However, trading a player of such importance and history within the franchise is not a simple matter. Andrews has a deep connection with the Ravens fan base and is considered one of the pillars of the team. This means that for the Ravens, trading Andrews is not just a financial decision, but also one that involves preserving the team's identity. Nevertheless, if the right price comes along, the Ravens will have to consider the trade as a way to create more flexibility and gain valuable draft picks, which are essential for the team's growth in the coming years. The trade of Andrews could also be an excellent opportunity for the Ravens to rejuvenate the roster. With a draft pick, they could add a new tight end or even strengthen other areas that need more attention. This would open doors for new signings and help the team strengthen in a more balanced way. Additionally, with a lighter salary cap, the Ravens would have more freedom to make other moves, which could be the boost needed for a team that aims for more than just playoff contention. The big question, however, is who would take Andrews' place? The answer might lie in a number of young players and new signings, or perhaps an increased focus on Isaiah Likely. With a possible trade of Andrews, the Ravens would also have to prepare for a new offensive phase, with more emphasis on fresh faces and the future of the team. Now, the big question is, what will the Ravens do with Mark Andrews? His staying in Baltimore is still a possibility, mainly due to his historical significance and his status within the team. He is the Ravens' all-time leader in touchdown receptions and has impressive chemistry with Lamar Jackson. This makes his trade a difficult decision, full of nuances. Although the market value may be tempting, the team must weigh what he represents, not just on the field, but as a leader and icon for fans. Despite the speculation, the Ravens may ultimately choose to keep Andrews for another season. He still has the necessary talent to be a key piece in the offense, and his experience could be crucial in critical moments. Additionally, with his long-standing relationship with the team, his presence in the locker room and psychological impact are factors that cannot be ignored. Perhaps the Ravens see value in his continuity, even if he is an expensive piece on the roster. On the other hand, the financial flexibility that trading Andrews would bring could be a huge asset for the Ravens. The team needs to look to the future and consider what is more important, keeping a veteran who may start to decline, or making room for young talent and strengthening the team more strategically. Trading Andrews would represent a significant shift in the team's dynamic, but it could open doors for new possibilities and improve the team's balance. The truth is, the Ravens are facing a major decision. They will need to decide whether to maintain Andrews' legacy or open the door for a new path, focus more on renewal and growth. This decision is crucial for the team's future and could change how the team positions itself in the upcoming season. So, after everything we've discussed, the big question remains, will the Ravens keep Mark Andrews, or will he become trade bait for the team's future? With so many uncertainties surrounding his contract, injuries, and the rise of new talents like Isaiah Likely, the situation is full of possibility. I want to know your opinion. What do you think should happen with Andrews? Leave a comment below. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, now is the time to do it, because more Ravens updates are coming your way.